Yo, welcome back. Sorry. Last time we found a body and we investigated. And I rambled off some theories. I'll just say this right now. Out of every trial so far, this is the one where I definitely have the least idea who the culprit is. I don't want to repeat myself too much from last time, but my thoughts have not changed that much. It seems very obvious that Teruya did something. Teruya was probably trying to kill Haruka, but he obviously did not actually do it, because that would be way too obvious. Like, the thing I keep coming back to, this is something I said last time. In these games, you always need the one decisive piece of evidence at the very end to like corner the culprit. One piece of evidence that says this piece of evidence shows that you're the only one who could have done it. And this is true for literally every single trial across every single game. Now, my problem is I don't see any evidence here that points to a specific person except Teruya. Now that's why I was saying the thing about maybe Haruka killed himself, because obviously there's a lot of information about Haruka here. So maybe that could be it. Maybe we'll figure out that he killed himself. That doesn't seem to work, not only because of what Monokuma said about suicide not counting, but it just doesn't seem like a logical way to kill yourself, to like shoot yourself in the chest but not in the heart so you slowly bleed to death. That just doesn't make sense. So then the question is, who, even if it's not in the true bullets here, who has like some characteristic, who has something about them that makes it so only they could have done it? And I really couldn't find anything for almost anyone. Like obviously Kinjo was tied up in his room. I don't think Kinjo's the killer. I don't see how that would make him be able to commit murder. The only things I can think of, maybe Mikako's testimony is gonna indicate that only one person could have done it, but I don't have that evidence right now. Or maybe it could be something to do with like whose room was set up where in the hallway. I tried to look for it, but I couldn't really find it, like who was in which room. It was probably said somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Because obviously someone who's in the left of the hallway, when they go to the armory, they wouldn't have been seen by Kurokawa, where someone on the right side of the hallway would have been. So like, it's really hard for me. Like I was thinking, like, is it Mikaru? Mikaru has literally zero noteworthy about her for the entire chapter. There's no way it can be her, because how would we know it's her and not someone else? There's nothing pointing to her. And the same thing for... I was gonna say the same thing for Satsuki. The only thing I can think of for Satsuki that like is something different about her is like in the intro for this chapter, they made a big deal about her changing her outfit. Right? So maybe she brought something, like Teruya brought some paper and pen. Maybe she brought something in her outfit that she didn't tell us about. Maybe. But that seems really nitpicky. Other than that, I couldn't see anything at all that would indicate Satsuki over someone else. There's the whole thing about like people stealing food. I don't know if that's going to be relevant for the trial. Maybe, because Satsuki, the people who are stealing food were Satsuki, Haruka. Those two were together, and then Teruya was on his own. Sure, okay. I don't know what that has to do with anything. It's really hard for me to point out one person. Something I can predict though, I'm pretty sure about this. I think this is gonna be an emotional trial, is the way I say it. Because we barely have any evidence here. I think this is gonna be kind of like chapter 4 in the R1, you know? It's gonna be more of an emotional thing than like a logical deduction thing, I feel. Because again, like, what pieces of evidence can I not explain here? Like, this is fine. Yeah, he was shooting the gun and this blew off. The guns were scattered, I guess, so that he would only have one gun to pick up. The one that was trapped. That's the only thing I can think of. The bloodstains, he was... The bloodstain, I think, is because he was shot. He was shot by someone who was in Teruya, maybe. And, like, he walked around trying to grab the gun, and that's why there was bloodstains everywhere. To, like, fight back against his attacker. Severed fingers, yeah. The short gun, we know. This we know. The only thing about this is, like, they say that, like, obviously this was set up, like, to be automatic. So this would, the flashbang and the smoke grenade would go off automatically when the wood plank was broken. But like, that makes you think that the killer was outside the room, and for some reason did that to make it seem like there was someone inside the room. But how would you put the wood plank back in the door after closing the door? That doesn't... We haven't found any evidence to indicate there's any way to do that, like any mechanism or anything like that. Doesn't seem like anything of the sort is here. So if by that logic, the culprit must have been inside the room and must have actually escaped when the flashbang went off. So then the question is, why was it automatic? Why couldn't they just, like, activate it when they saw when they saw us come in? That's a good question. Maybe that's what points to the killer. Is there one person who couldn't have set these off? I was thinking about their outfits, because, like, obviously all of them changed into, like, fancy outfits for this chapter. I looked at all of them and I couldn't see anything that would, like, set one of them apart, really. What would make it so you wouldn't be able to just throw the flash bang when people came in? Why wouldn't that work? Why wouldn't that work? I mean, a possible answer would be that Haruiko was the one who set this up. That could be that simple. I don't know why he would do that. Yeah, so I think, like, why people did the things they did is going to be very important for this trial. Like, the why done it, rather than, like, the exactly how done it is going to be more important. Is there anyone who couldn't? Kenji was completely tied up. There's no way it was him, right? It wasn't like just his hands were tied up. He was completely, like, he couldn't move. I can't think of anything. Maybe there's something obvious I'm missing. I think this was the real murder weapon. I think Teruya thought this was a trap gun, but he just, like, was mistaken. I think this gun is actually not trapped, because otherwise I don't know why Teruya would booby trap two guns. Maybe it wasn't even booby trapped. Maybe it was just fucking, the gun was just shot at, like, in a, because we had, like, fucking bazookas and shit in the armory. They could have used whatever. It was obviously booby trapped just because of the way Teruya was acting. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If I had to take a guess right now, it's either Haruiko killed himself or it's Satsuki. Gun to my head. I think I would lean a bit more towards Satsuki. Yeah. But this is really tough. I feel like I'm missing information here. But let's start. Let's start. Oh boy. I'm excited for this. First, let's start with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial is decided by your votes. If you point out the blackened, only they will be punished, but in case you point out the wrong person, then I'll punish everyone else except the blackened, and the one who deceived everyone else can proudly leave the school. Yep, translation. It finally started, the 4-class trial. One of us is the culprit that killed Haruhiko. We must find the culprit at all cost. Now then, please begin your discussion. Guys? Oh, right, yeah, should we start discussing? Okay, we have to work hard, so where do we start with? What? The stuffy, awkward mood. Well, it's not unreasonable because our conflict reached its peak. First, I think each of you will have a lot of things to say before the trial, and the feelings that you're feeling will be different. But for now, let's focus on the trial in front of us. Ignore everything else. Just like we did before so far, haven't we? Kinjo. As Kinjo said, now it's a trial. Let's swallow what we want to say to each other for a moment, because survival is our priority now. Ha, you don't take that for granted, do you? Let's get started already. Then, let's begin. Once we get the case sorted out, let's organize a series of events in chronological order based on what we each know. Hey, wait a minute. Before that, I have something to say just for a minute, please. What is it, Irinami? I'm the killer. Okay, well, there goes my theory. Okay, he probably killed himself then, right? This seems like a Sakura situation. Didn't Aoi do the same thing in case 4? Of DR1? Okay. Where is this going? Eh? Satsuki-chan? What did you say just now? I said, I'm the killer. I'm the culprit who killed Haruhiko Kobashikawa. Don't play around, Irinami. What are you saying all of a sudden? It's not a joke. Are you serious? Don't make me laugh. Do you think that if you claim to be the criminal without physical evidence or logic, you'll become the culprit? But I really killed Haruhiko. It can't be. Stop making bad jokes, Satsuki-chan. What if the trial just ends here? We don't even have any, like, rebuttal or anything. It's just like, yeah, I'm a killer. I did it so you guys could escape. Anyways, see ya. Like, that'd be interesting. You should explain it one step at a time. If we listen and we're convinced, then we can really believe that you're the culprit. Suddenly, what is all this? Just as the trial begins, she said she was the culprit. If it were a normal culprit, they would never confess. But would Satsuki really be the culprit? Before making any judgments, let's first listen to Satsuki's story. Okay, I know I did not stop debate. Now I can copy people's words instantly because of Mikaru's skill. Flash and smoke grenade, leather in the room, gunshot, chest wound. Probably the leather in the room. We're gonna say she didn't have paper, right? Yeah. It put us on the correct bullet automatically because of Kinjo's thing. Are you claiming to be the culprit? Let's hear your reason. At dawn, Kobeizin called me. No. I followed Kobeizin. We went to the arsenal. And then, all by myself, he pointed a gun at me. I just shot him in self-defense. It can't be. Masaka. Okay, well, that doesn't line up with what we know. Satsuki really is the culprit. It means that the victim, Haruhiko himself, called the culprit. But isn't that a little weird? Haruhiko was actually the one who was called. That clue proves it. Okay. Making it really obvious. Ugh. Sorry, wa chigau yo. Wait, Satsuki, Haruko called you? Isn't that odd? Is it weird? The victim Haruko called you? The culprit? That can't be it. Rather, the victim Haruko was called by the culprit and went to the arsenal. If you were the culprit, you would know. You're saying he was called by the killer? That's... I don't know. That's ridiculous. The letter that was put in Haruko's room is what he's talking about. The contents are like this. To Haruko, I have something to tell you. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not trying to kill you. I hope you believe me. I'll wait. Whoa, if the contents of that letter are true, it makes no sense that Kobayashi-kun called Satsuki-chan and took her to the arsenal, right? It would be the opposite. That's right, but Satsuki said that she doesn't know much about this letter. The killer doesn't know the letter they sent. Nope, it doesn't make sense. I think we have multiple people who tried to kill Haruko. I don't know, what if it was a manipulation? Yuki and Tsurugi wrote that letter that I didn't know, and you're manipulating things now. Don't be a tickhead. Obviously this evidence came from Haruko's room. So Irinami's not the culprit? Wrong, I really mean it. I'm the real culprit. Just looking at the current evidence, to say that Satsuki is the culprit, it's hard to tell, but I want to make things a little more clear. So let's ask about it. Haruko's other wound, whose source is unknown to the evidence that only the culprit, only they must know. Satsuki, if you're really the culprit, there's one thing I want you to tell me. This isn't like the leather, but a direct clue to Haruko's body. So if you're the culprit, it's a clue that you must know. What's that? Haruko's right hand, you recall? His right hand was completely shattered. It's hard to say that this was a gunshot wound. If you're the culprit, can you tell me the true nature of this wound? I don't know. Why did his hand become that way? You don't have to talk anymore. You're not the culprit. Wait a second, I'm telling the truth. Why are you still claiming to be the killer? If it's real, even if Irinami's the culprit, you'll only get executed. I don't know what you're thinking, but this is not a joke. If Irinami unnecessarily confuses our reasoning and we choose the wrong killer, we will all die. Maybe that might have been the purpose. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What? She was close to Haruko Kobayashi, who died this time, right? Apparently, it looks like she was in the severest shock, unlike the usual one who always talks at random. With that shock in mind, you're trying to make us follow Haruko Kobayashi's fate. Isn't that right? That was it? Absolutely not. Of course, I'm really sad that Haru died, but I'm very much sane. Stop it, Irinami. We haven't even started a proper discussion yet. If the discussion goes on, the killer will be naturally revealed. If you are really the killer, you don't have to rush things. It'll all turn out okay. Satsuki-chan. Oh, alright then. Let's discuss about it. Has it been roughly organized? You wasted my time on useless things. Okay, I still think she's probably the most likely to be the killer, but... So let's start from the beginning again. When the case started to happen. Hold on a minute. Is it okay to wait one minute before that? Oh, you're gonna say you were the killer? In this... Oh, no, okay. In this case, can we assume that Irinami isn't completely the culprit? No, not necessarily. If Irinami is really the culprit, there's still a possibility there. That's it? We haven't started any reasoning yet. First, there's a possibility from what happened a little while ago, but maybe there's something up. In that way, they were excluding themselves from the suspect line. It was a double bluff. I said that I'm the culprit, so you guys wouldn't think I'm the culprit. Oh. That had to be calculated. With Irinami's mind, it would be impossible to tell. Hey, you're treating me as a fool right now. I don't think it was on purpose. Quiet. First, as Kinjo says, let's summarize the unfolding of the case. Oh, right. Where can we start from the evening before the incident happened? Well, that was when we, Maeda-kun, Kobayashi-kun, Otori-kun, and Satsuki-chan, Mikako-chan, and me. 6 people gathered at the restaurant. Maeda-kun called us, and... The restaurant. At the time, we were all at the limit of our hunger, and we all thought to come together and meet each other in the thought that we should somehow unfold a horrid policy. At that time, Teruya suggested, I'll tell you, I wasn't really sane back then. That's what happened. It was my fault for being immature. What's this? I didn't even see your faces the day before the murder took place. I don't know this, so explain exactly what's going on. Teruya gave us a pen and paper to nominate one victim and one culprit. He asked one of us. He asked for one person to vote, since Monokuma banned suicide. Was a plan to set up the case at the expense of 2 people. That was really crazy. I'm sorry. It's alright, it's all over now. We almost agreed to this plan too. It looks like the part I saw from there. I broke into the restaurant because the absurd plan was about to be implemented. Yeah, Kinjo-kun came in and handed out guns to each of us to commit suicide. What did we do with those guns that he gave us? Did we put them back in the armor? What? Oh no, nothing at all. Keep going. Well, that's when we started to fight back at Kinja. And then we were lucky enough to catch him, and he was judged to be dangerous, so he couldn't move anymore. Oh, he's mad. Oh my, sorry. I'm so uneducated today. Continue. So? The problem starts after this. Thanks to Kinjo, the plan was halted, but there was no progress for the day. We locked Kinjo in the room and then went back to each room. Before this morning, Hariko died. I couldn't sleep all night, so I was staying with my eyes open, but I heard something outside in the morning, so I went out and Maida was asking for help, saying that the door was not opening. What are you talking about? There was a Monokuma announcement saying it was 7 AM just before we went outside. What do you mean? And when you somehow opened the door, you found the body? Yeah, that's right. This case is missing our eyes between the dawn hours, and there is not much evidence, so we have no choice but to share information we know with each other. First, a few alibis can be established just by hearing about this. Alibis? Yes, so then let's dig into the alibis one by one, alright? Bum, 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 bum. Request testimony. Destroyed gun. Probably Kurokawa's testimony? Yep. First off, it won't be a problem if I excluded myself from the suspect list since I was tied up, right? Well, certainly, an idea where Kinjo commits the crime doesn't seem possible. Where Kinjo commits the crime. I have an alibi too, Maida and me. We were together when the BDA happened. If so, the ones who can be suspected as a criminal are Nakari, Taira, Iranami, Kurokawa. It's those 4 people. But I really don't have an alibi. But it's not me. Satsuki's the killer! You shut up already. Stop causing trouble. If only there was more information that would check our alibis are down. If only. Kinjo, wait, come to think of it, I think there was someone who knows the alibi during dawn in detail. Who is it? During the investigation, Kurokawa, she clearly testified to me that she had seen who went to the arsenal in the morning. Right, Kurokawa? Yes. What? If that's true, the culprit has already been revealed, right? You're noisy, be quiet. Hey, Dark Circle, so, who did you see? Kurokawa's room was right next to the arsenal, so she heard the arsenal's door opening and closing. Of course, the arsenal is soundproofed, so she didn't hear the sounds from the inside. I don't think hearing only the sound is enough to be a direct witness testimony. No. I saw people passing by in front of my door. What? No way, you've been watching the hallway all morning? Is that what you mean? Furador Erika. Nodding. But then, still, it would have been difficult to stay sane in hunger, but watching the hallway all night without sleep is... However, that worked nicely in reverse. The culprit couldn't have thought that there must have been someone in the midst watching the corridor. That's a great achievement, Kurokawa. So then, who passed by? That's what I'm asking. Well, I don't know the time. The exact time is unknown, but it was in this order. First was Hariko and Satsuki, from left to right. The arsenal didn't open at this time. What? A little later, Satsuki went from right to left. Is it your right or like the right we see? Because like when we are in the hallway, your room is to the right of the armory. But from your perspective, to your right is the armory. So if you're saying they came from the right, are you saying they came from the armory? I think that's what you mean. So Satsuki went from right to left. How did you know the arsenal didn't open? I guess you didn't hear the door opening? She was alone at this time. A little later, after Uranami passed, Teruya went from left to right. A little later again, I heard the sound of the arsenal door. Then Teruya went from right to left. So, Uranami never went in the arsenal? Okay. Unless the door was already opened, I guess. And after a while, Haruiko goes from right to left. Really? Soon after, Haruiko and Satsuki are together again. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Then I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what's left to right or right to left. Can't you tell us a little more clearly? You're the only one that doesn't understand something so simple, aren't you? Don't cut the flow for no reason. Focus and listen. Don't be like that. I'm a little confused too. We're stupid. But let's listen to Kurkawa's story until the end and reorganize it. In an easy to understand manner. Kurkawa, is that everything? Nods. Okay. So keep in mind, that doesn't mean that people she didn't see didn't go to the arsenal, or that people she didn't see didn't exit the arsenal. Because they could just leave through the other hallway. It's very interesting. I kind of want to just stop and theorize right now, but I'm in the middle of the trial, so I won't. I wish I would have had this information when I was cooking up theories. Indeed. As you said, you can assume that the killer has already revealed themselves. At the time of the investigation, I didn't know this because Kurkawa didn't tell me properly, but this is definitely a tremendous amount of information. Hey, I want to join the discussion too, but can't you tell us a little bit more easily? Oh, sorry, Taya. I'll organize it so it's easy to understand. But before that, there's something I want to check again. The location of the room each of us was using. Yes, thank you. If we notice, I think we can properly organize Kurkawa's information. Well, that's certainly something I want to do and need to move on. From what I roughly checked with each other during the investigation. Give me a map, please? Okay. Why is this so stretched? Everyone remembers the structure of the corridor behind the ballroom where the rooms are listed, right? As you would know if you did a little closer examination, there was a small tag on the door of each room. Yeah, I remember the rooms are like in a zigzag pattern like this, yeah. And according to the tag, the rooms are distributed in this manner. Monokuma randomly gave us a key for each room, and from what I've investigated... Okay. It is very strange. So at the very last thing that Hirakawa said was that she saw Satsuki and Haruiko go to the armory. And that's the last thing she saw. Unless the left and right are reversed and I've got everything wrong. But assuming I'm right, and it's from her left and right, then that means Satsuki, after exited the armory by going this way, even though her room is here. That's weird. I don't know why she would do that. Okay. Right, again, I wish I would have had this during the cooking session. This is probably how each of us were located in each room. When we reconsider Kurokawa's testimony after arranging the distribution of each room used by each person in this way, we can see that a few suspects are eliminated. Well, I mean, I didn't understand Mikako's words at all. That's your own fault. Are you going to blow up valuable discussion time for someone like you? Kinjo, that's too far. It's important for one person to know about the case, right? I'll rearrange it and explain it to Taira. Do what you like, preferably as quickly as possible. Kinjo-kun, you still don't seem to forgive me. Taira, so to summarize Kurokawa's words simply. First, the fact that Kurokawa watched the hallway all morning. Taira, you heard it earlier, right? And based on what Kinjo summarized, Kurokawa's room is room 8. It's a room on the right side of the arsenal. When you go straight from the entrance of the arsenal to the corridor, as Kurokawa explained a little while ago, that what she said was from left to right and from right to left was based on the direction facing the corridor in Kurokawa's room. Okay, so I was correct. Okay. Here, I'll make it more easy to understand with pictures. In the order that Kurokawa saw it, Haruko and Satsuki were the first people that passed by in front of the door at this time. She said there was no sound of the arsenal door opening at the time, so I think it's just the two of them passing by. And a little later, she said that Satsuki passed by alone again in the opposite direction, probably going back to her room. Shortly after this, she said that Teruya passed by. Did she hear the door open here? And at this time, she could hear the sound of the arsenal door opening. Okay. This probably means that Teruya went to the arsenal, probably with Haruko. After a while, the sound of the arsenal door opening was heard again, and then Teruya passed to the opposite direction, going back to his room. Soon after, Haruko passed by the same direction again. But Haruko was still alive at this point. Did you see if he was bleeding, like if his hand was bleeding or something? After this, Haruko and Satsuki went from left to right again. And at this time, the door to the arsenal was opened. Someone went into the arsenal. After that, there was no movement for a while, and after a little time passed, Satsuki passed by with the sound of arsenal door opening. Okay, she did. Okay, I forgot this part. Okay, she did pass. She did go back to her room. Okay. These are all the movements Kurokawa saw and heard during the morning. After this, well, she heard the ruckus of the arsenal door next, but that was probably the sounds of me trying to open the door. Teruya, who passed by, heard the sounds I made. Then I opened the door with Teruya's help during this time. This is very detailed. That's a summary of what Kurokawa heard and saw, roughly like this. Do you understand? Wow, when Maruda-kun explained it to me, I understood it all at once, thanks. Really? But wait, if we look from the current events on each step... Yeah, there's one suspicious person. Do you see it clearly? Satsuki? I can't guarantee 100% that what Kurokawa heard and saw was everything that happened at dawn, but with the information obtained till now has resulted in one influential suspect of this case. That person is... Whoa! Excuse me? There are only 3 people whose movements have been confirmed at dawn. One of them is hard victim, another one was already cleared of charge as soon as the trial began. Okay, she was not cleared of charge, to be clear. She could very still easily be the culprit. And we saw Haruko still be alive after he exited the armory with Itori. So this is really stupid to me, but sure. Okay, sure, you on Itori. Yeah, Satsuki is not cleared at all. I don't know what we're acting like she is, but... Teruya, it's the only one who fits to be the main suspect of this case. What are you talking about? Haruko is still alive. He came back with Satsuki after. Huh? Me? I mean, I do think Teruya tried to kill Haruko, but... Haruko was the victim, so he couldn't help it. The fact that Satsuki was close to Haruko makes me understand why she was there. But why did Teruya move around like that so early in the morning? Oh, that was, what was it again? Right, I was investigating. Yeah, everyone was in a panic, so I wanted to find clues to get out even for a little bit. Just a few hours ago, you were trying to pick 2 victims. The guy who was despairing and doing investigation was thinking of all these things. Doesn't that sound a little weird? That's all there is to it. The weight fixed my mind. People can change their mind easily, you know? Even if that's true, you did an investigation. If you think about it, based on Kurokawa's testimony, you were only in the arsenal. What kind of investigation did you do in the arsenal? No, I never went into the arsenal. Otori-kun, please stop the pretense and explain properly. What the hell did you do in the arsenal? I never went into the arsenal! Teruya? Why does it have to be only me? I did nothing wrong. If you look at it, Satsuki also went around it down. Why am I only suspicious? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm the culprit. Are you still saying that? I told you to be quiet. Certainly, Uranami is well under enough suspicion. However, she says she didn't know about the identity of the letter. Nor did she know about Haru's hand. So that's it then. You're just gonna take her off the list because she doesn't know? That's a long shot. I don't know anything about the letter or the right hand either. Don't be mistaken, Teruya. You now said that Uranami's the culprit and you don't know about these clues. While Uranami claims to be the culprit but she doesn't recognize these clues are entirely different matters. Sure, I guess. Then what about Maeda? When I saw him this morning, he was trying to get in the arsenal, so Maeda is also suspicious. That just happened. Yes, I won't deny that Maeda is the suspect as you claim. He had been in and out of the arsenal the previous day and even this morning. He had the strange idea of going to the arsenal again. But this and that is a separate matter. As a result, Maeda failed to enter the arsenal this morning. There was no testimony of Kurokawa witnessing in the morning. So this is not suitable for committing the crime. Okay, but again, we could have entered the arsenal without her seeing us because we're on the other side of the hallway. Oh, well, anyways me, I don't know about that. Anyways me. I'm exactly trying to protect him. I'm not exactly trying to protect him, but relying only on Dark Circle's testimony has a slightly loose time frame. I'm going to ignore it. To not make me go nuts and move on already. I know that. It's about the structure of the ballroom, right? The structure. Think about it. Even if Kurokawa watched the hallway all night, it's all about looking outside of the room and hearing the arsenal door. But if you look at the structure of the ballroom, you can easily enter the arsenal without passing by Kurokawa's door. Because we were all at the ballroom for a week, I think everyone should know, but the arsenal is structured around the dance hall at 360 degrees. In other words, if you go back to the other side, you can enter the arsenal without being noticed by Kurokawa. Okay, but you wouldn't do that unless you knew that she was doing this. And you wouldn't know, there's no way you can know. Moreover, in the case of Maeda, Kurokawa does not stand out even if he does not use this method and goes straight into the arsenal. Yeah, that's what I was saying. From his own room, since it was in the opposite side to Kurokawa's room in the first place. Shh, you knew that too. Yeah, everyone knew that. See, Maeda's the culprit after all. But there's something you shouldn't overlook. Even if you use some method to enter the arsenal without showing your appearance to Kurokawa, there's still the sound of the door opening and closing that can only be heard by Kurokawa. Yep. Hey, but in Mikako-chan's testimony, the sound of the arsenal opening and closing was always heard before and after someone passed her door. That's right, after all, the person who walked in and out of the arsenal at dawn, I can't think of anything other than these 3 people who showed up in the testimony. Haruhiko, Satsuki, and Teruya. That's all lies. So Teruya, you went into the arsenal and I want to hear your reason to make sure. If you're really innocent, there's no reason to be in panic, right? Okay, now I really think that Satsuki is the killer. Then I'm really innocent. Really, I just went to the arsenal too. I just went in for a minute. I don't think there will be an end if this goes on like this. What is Teruya so afraid of? I'm not sure. He doesn't want to say anything because, well, I'm not certain, but I'll have to show more convincing evidence that he has no choice but to speak with his own words. Come to think of it, there seems to be one suspicious thing about Teruya during the investigation. What was it? It was when I was investigating something in the arsenal. Let's recall that moment. Spot? Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I got it. Come to think of it, Teruya, didn't you say something strange to me when I was investigating? What? Something strange? I don't know. I found a gun that was dropped in the corner, and when I checked it to investigate, suddenly you came and told me not to touch it because it will blow up. What do you mean, Maida? Tell us in more detail. There was a gun in the corner of the arsenal that was hard to see. I tried to investigate why it was in the corner like that. Suddenly, Teruya, who was nearby, ran up and told me not to touch it because it would blow up if I touched it. If I shot? Maybe he thought I was going to use the gun. If you shoot, it will blow up? What are you talking about? The booby trap gun. No, before answering my question, how did he know about that? Nada, the gun. Did you properly investigate it? No. Huh? I did examine it roughly, but it was a normal gun with nothing special. I thought it was equipped with a bomb or something, because I thought it was going to explode. Probably, it's not like that. Hey, Monokuma. Huh? Did you call me? I was enjoying this. What's up? I require you to submit evidence. Bring the gun Maida mentioned. Yeah, it's not actually booby-trapped. I think Otori was just mistaken about which gun was which. What? Why am I being ordered? Submit evidence? Is that possible? It is part of the debate on the class trial. There's no problem by the rules. You, the judge, have no right to deny it. I mean, he can if he wants to. That's correct. There's no profit to reject it. Besides, if it's part of the discussion, what's the point? Gee, I really don't like that attitude. How can you be so cheeky? Shut up and get it already. Boo-hoo, actually, I thought this was going to happen, and I brought it from the beginning. Now, here you go. How is it? This is it. It's a bullet. Bullet? It was loaded? It's not a simple bullet. It's a bullet for shotguns and medium-sized rifles. Bullets that do not meet the standards were forcibly loaded to this gun. Okay. So that's how the guns were trapped. I was wondering about like the specifics, but I guess sure, that works. But why did he trap two guns then? Because the other gun also was definitely trapped. Why would he trap two guns? If you pull the trigger with one of these, a bullet that doesn't fit into the magazine, it enters the chamber and blocks the muzzle, and of course no bullet shot comes out. The pressure from the gunpowder has disappeared from where it's supposed to go. Instead goes spreading all over the gun itself. It will end up being shattered. Wait a minute, but then why did Teruya-kun know about this? Why? I see now what he did in the arsenal. Otori-kun, did you change the bullets on purpose? For what reason? The gun in that state, if you hold it with a human hand and fire it, your hand will never be safe. When I listened to those words just now, I see a very similar wound I remember in my mind. Yes, the source is clear. Haruko's right hand. I understand now. Haruko was hit by the explosion of the pistol that Kinjo was holding right now. The evidence was also in the arsenal. The proof is... Yeah, that's right. It was in the arsenal. The fragments of a gun filled with blood, which appeared to have been burst from the inside. Yeah, I saw it too. Haruko fired the gun wrongly loaded, just like this gun, and the gun he was holding exploded, and his hand ended up being ruptured. Then Otori-kun did this to Kobashikawa-kun. Wait a minute, I'm sure this gun is the one I touched, but I don't know about the other destroyed gun. Who, you admitted it, the fact that he touched the gun. No. Is he telling the truth? Did two people independently have the same idea to load a gun with the wrong bullet so it would explode? Of course, there are two guns with misloaded bullets. It's a little weird, but I'm certain, Teruya, you definitely did something. Is that really it? I think if you pry a little more, you'll end up confessing everything. Don't treat people as criminal without solid evidence. Even if I put my hands on the gun, it can't be proof that I'm a killer. So I don't know anything. Give me the proof, evidence. It can't be denied that Teruya is the most powerful suspect right now. But powerful, the most suspicious suspect right now. But is there any more solid evidence? If we keep discussing, we might see something we haven't considered before. The paper. I need to scan something for this one, I guess. Because it gave me the tutorial. They make it really obvious when you need to scan something because they only give you the Monokuma file. I don't know anything. It's already been revealed. Stop lying and tell the truth. You went to the arsenal. You deliberately loaded the gun wrongly so that the bullet would explode. But only doing that doesn't mean I'm the culprit, does it? Of course, you loaded the gun. You can say it doesn't make you the culprit, but the killer loaded the bullet on purpose. I'm certain of this. That's far-fetched because I'm not the killer. Because I did that one thing. You're treating me as the culprit. You knew the gun was going to explode. What more evidence do you want to see? Otori-kun, how could you? I should have noticed the moment you asked us to pick a victim. Pen and paper! Pen and paper! You murderer! Is it certain that Teruya went to the arsenal at dawn and secretly manipulated a gun? But is that really all there is? Did they sneak at dawn just to do that one action? Let's think about it. If we listen to everyone's statement, we will be able to uncover another track of Teruya's deeds. Okay, what do I use with this song? Yeah, okay. How was that not a perfect? I did it. I couldn't have done it better. Like I didn't waste any movement. That's it. The paper and pen. What? After listening to Tara's words, I thought about it. At the beginning of the trial, you guys remember the letter that you said when you were blaming Satsuki? I've been thinking it's been weird all this time. How did the culprit write this letter? We should have lost all of our belongings at the same time we were in the ballroom. Yeah, that is incredibly stupid of Teruya. Because we know that he knows that we know that he's the only one with paper on him. And he used the paper to lure out the victim. It's really stupid. Hearing that, yeah, how did... Oh. Yeah, exactly as Maeda said. As Maeda says. Perhaps the night before the murder, there was someone who secretly handed out a piece of paper and that had been secretly showing a paper to ask someone to choose two victims? Eek. It's obvious at this point that Teruya clearly said that at the time the extra paper and pen were not removed from his clothes. That means Teruya is the only one of us who has a paper and pen in their belongings. Don't joke around, you could have accidentally found another piece of paper and wrote on it. Oh, is that so? Should we check it then? Monokuma, bring that letter. I knew that would happen, so I brought it in advance. Here. Now, without that guy making a commotion, let's read it. This must be it. It's the same paper Teruya had. Then Otori-kun was the one who sent that letter to Kobashikawa-kun's room? Wait a minute, you're forcing me. I handed out a bunch of paper to you guys. Soon after that, when Kinjo might have made a fuss, he might have gotten one in the mass of confusion. If it's only paper, it might be possible. But what about your side? Teruya said it with his own words. There's only one pen. True. No matter how much paper you had, you cannot write a letter without a pen. The pen was also in the confusion. Oh, then that means you don't have the pen right now because you said you only have one. If we look into your belongings and the party clothes you wore, you won't have any complaints, right? That's not allowed. Why not? Is there something we shouldn't see? It's decided then. You can't refute it anymore. He wrote a letter by calling out Haruhiko and misloading a bullet to let his hand be ruptured. All of this, that's what you did, Teruya. Yeah, I figured out this much. Really, you, Otori-kun. Why? Why did you do that? Why did you kill Kobashikawa-kun? He didn't. I'm sorry. All you said was right. After all, you couldn't stand the hunger too. What else could someone do otherwise? Actually, there was a reason that I was aiming at the Haruhiko, and there was a reason for when we fought each day. It was all because of hunger. Otori-kun. So what, were you hoping for sympathy? Either way, you planned the murder and executed it. No, I have nothing to say. I don't want to make any more excuses and dishonor Haruko anymore. I'm going to be dead anyway. Wait, there's one thing I'm curious about. Why did you go to the arsenal before the victim, work with the gun, write a letter to call him, then go back again to the arsenal? My plan was to originally summon Haruko and then see him go into the arsenal and I would go with him. As if it had nothing to do with the criminal. Haruko and I were supposed to fight and then provoke him and letting him shoot me with the gun I prepared. Once that happens, his hand would fly away without knowing anything, and so he would die. Okay, you're really stupid. In the past, I followed my papa to study guns in America. Then I decided to commit a crime by using the knowledge I gained at the time. So I went back to my room and watched to see Haru coming, but I was too tired, so I fell asleep until morning came. Okay. In the end, I don't know the reason why Haru broke his hand, but in any case, it was my fault. The fact that I killed Haruko doesn't change. That was a difficult answer to even predict. I'm glad you're a stupid fool. In a way, Kurikawa, who's watching the corridor all day morning, I think that was a good thing. Okay, so, did he kill himself or did Sasuke kill him? It's one of those two for sure. It's hard to say. Thanks to that, my crime was discovered. Teruya. The discussion so far has ended with the conclusion that Teruya is the culprit. It seems like a long shot. I think there's still a lot of unsolved questions. Wait a minute, I've been listening all this time. Something is wrong with this. Teruya is not the culprit. Satsuki-chan, what are you talking about? Otori-kun just admitted it. I mean, the culprit is me. Are you still saying that? I told you to shut up. Wait, is Teruya really the culprit? But, even Mikako-chan? If I'm right, Teruya is not the culprit. That's my girl. There's still an unsolved mystery. There's a lot of unsolved mystery. What are you guys talking about? I'm the culprit, aren't I? I'm almost 90% that Teruya is the culprit. Okay, you're really stupid? Kinjo, come on, you shouldn't be this dumb. But it's still a little too early to end the trial. I agree that there's an unsolved mystery left. If we tried to vote without anyone speaking up like this, I would have tried to do it, but actually this is the most important part of the case right now. What's this all of a sudden? Wasn't the trial ending like this? That's right, if we think about it carefully, there's still a lot of parts that cannot be explained on the contents of the discussion. But I'd like to hear why Kurikawa thinks Teruya is not the culprit, because Haruko was alive after he left. You weren't careful enough even for Kinjo. What? Nothing. Anyway, if you listen to the explanation, you'll know right away. Kabu flash and smoke grenade? No, wood plank. I mean, the same thing. Why do you think Teruya isn't the culprit? When Teruya passed the door to my room, he sent a letter to Haruko. Yep. Afterwards, he went inside the arsenal for his next plan. That is the explanation so far. But after that, Teruya passed the door to my room again. There was no movement until the morning after. But they were... Even if Teruya did plot something, even if Haruko's hand was exploded, the direct cause of death is a gunshot wound. True, Teruya didn't mention that he used the gun himself. If Teruya, who came out of the arsenal before Haruko, could not kill. And one more thing, the arsenal was blocked from the inside. Yeah. 80 points? What the hell? The wood plank. Are you referring to this call? That's right, Maida. You mean the broken wood plank that fell near the arsenal door? Yeah, according to Maida, he opened the arsenal door in the morning with Teruya's help. You're not going to say just because they opened the door together, he's not the culprit, are you? That's not it. Think about it. After Teruya entered and left the arsenal in the morning, Haruko entered afterwards. Until this moment, the door to the arsenal was open. Then when was the door blocked with the wood planks? Well, when was it? It is for a fact that Kobayashi-kun opened the door and went in. Doesn't that mean that the door was blocked after that? That is true, but according to Dark Circle's testimony, Teruya Otori did not even enter the arsenal after doing his little scheme. In other words, Teruya wasn't the one who blocked the door with the wood plank. It's only natural. When I tried to open the door with Maida in the morning, I was embarrassed to note that the arsenal, which had only been opened, was not opening. As I said before, you must pass by Kurokawa's room. Even if you don't, you can head to the arsenal door. After that, the door to the arsenal was opened one more time. At that time, Teruya finished his plan. He would have heard the door. That's impossible, since Haruko was the last one to enter. The arsenal door has been only opened once. If Teruya went in and out of the arsenal, I should have heard the sound twice. Well, for starters, I guess the wood planks were used to clasp the door, I guess. If you do something like this from the inside, won't you be able to come out? That's true, but even if you put a plank by some trick from outside, there wasn't just one plank. You know what I'm talking about, right, Maida? Yeah, so the culprit was still inside the room. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But why did they need to set up this whole elaborate thing? There wasn't just one plank. Yes, I saw it clearly. The thing that fell with the plank near the door. At the same time it fell. The only thing I can think of is because he was already dead, because Haruko is the one who set it up. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Did Haruko help the killer? I don't know. That would make sense if Satsuki is the killer, like I've been saying. To the ground as soon as the plank was crushed and made a loud noise. That thing was. Right, the object that was separated from the plank. You mean the flash and smoke grenades, right? Flash and smoke grenades? Is that those things that were near the door? Yes, when Teruya and I first opened the door, we heard a shattering sound from the inside, and immediately afterwards a tremendous amount of light and noise hit us. And then after a few moments, when we opened our eyes, the arsenal was filled with smoke. After pulling out the plank from the handle, the door was opened, and the plank fell because of the effort we did. That's right. Now you see, it's impossible to block the door like that from the outside. What? Then are you saying Otori-kun is not the culprit? Wait a moment, but it was me who wrote the letter and had a gun ready to explode. It was the reason Haru saw the gun and then it exploded on his hand. I told you a little while ago. It is true that Haruko's right hand was ruptured, but the cause of death was the gunshot wound. Teruya, you only prepared the gun, but you didn't shoot Haruko, did you? No. Hold it, Teruya had an obvious murder intent. Now, it's a contradiction to say that he isn't the culprit. What's wrong, Mr. Psycho Cop? Using forceful logic in that way doesn't seem like a reach an answer like this. Dark Circles is right. I don't think Teruya Otori is the killer either. Then who is the culprit? You're saying it's impossible for Teruya to block the door, however, no one else can do it. That's true. That's the biggest mystery in this case. So what you're all saying is, in short, it's an impossible crime. Already? That was short. I mean, I don't know why we're saying it's impossible. Anyone could have set it up from the inside. It just needed to be, they just needed to, like, exit as we were distracted. Actually, I kind of like that. What I was saying about Haruko working with the killer, who is Satsuki. I'm almost certain. Yeah, and maybe Haruko was the person who set up the grenade trick. To like help Satsuki escape. I don't know why Haruko shot the gun in the first place though. I still don't know what the deal was with the second booby trap gun. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty short. I guess next time we finish this chapter.